This video is brought to you by TrueTech Tools, quality tools, essential support.
And by RLS, original, patented, proven. So I get questions all the time if you should start in the HVAC trade. So in this video, I'm going to be covering why I think you should start a career in the HVAC industry. Let's do some work. Before we get started, let's get some coffee. All right, so yeah, the first reason why I would think that starting in the HVAC industry would be a good step for a career move, the first reason is it's very rewarding. So it's something where, you know, you're going out and about to either residential homes, or if you're in the commercial side, industrial, whatever it is, it's rewarding in a way where when you go out, there's problems and you have to find solutions. And you have to repair things, you have to fix them, get them back online, or if you're doing installs, you're either, you know, taking out old stuff and putting in new stuff and making it better, or you're just doing new construction and you're making it right from the beginning. So at the end of the day, you can feel very good and very proud of what you've done because you've, you know, worked with your hands, you've repaired things, you've installed things, whatever the case is. But it gives you this sense of fulfillment that, you know, in the past, before I got into the HVAC industry doing, you know, smaller jobs, I never really felt that sense of fulfillment, right? Something that where it's like it's almost like a tangible feeling where, again, you're going out and you're actually seeing something all the way through. You know, you got a problem, you figure out what it is, you come up with a solution, and then you make the repair. It's like you're seeing it from A to Z. There's like you know, that closure feeling, if you will. But to me, that is super important for a day-to-day job, that you feel like you're actually completing something. And not only that, but when you're out there and you're working on it, the creativity that you have to have in order to like be able to troubleshoot. Or let's say we are installing something and every application is different. It's never cut and dry. So you really got to be on your toes and you got to be thinking about how you could be installing that in a way where it's going to be most efficient, it's going to work well, whatever the case is. So to me, the HVAC industry gives you all of that. It gives you a sense of fulfillment, you know, where you know, at the end of the day, you just have a lot of pride in what you do, and it just makes you feel good. It's one of those things where once you start doing it and you start realizing that and you start tapping into it in a sense where you're aware of it, and it feels better and better every single day. So that's the number one reason why I think starting a career in the HVAC industry is something that I would highly recommend. Whether you're young or if you're older, doesn't matter. You can start at any time, but I highly recommend starting in the HVAC industry because of the fulfillment that you get working day to day. All right, so that was a pretty simple fix. The customer was complaining that the furnace was making a loud racket noise, and then it was kind of shutting on and off, and it seemed like it was running a lot. So as you can tell, I found the bracket for the circuit board was loose on the blower housing. The screws were just completely stripped out. Basically, they wouldn't tighten up. And then also I found that low voltage wire for the heat was basically broken, and it was just barely touching. So it was like an intermitting, turn the heat on and off. So once I secured that mounting plate for the circuit board and just cut off and repair that low voltage wire, everything fired up and it stayed running and no issues. So that was a pretty good service call. I think it was fun trying to troubleshoot and find that. When I showed up, there was no noise, so I kind of had to dig into it a little bit and move things around and adjust things as it was running to really find out kind of what was going on. So it didn't just show its face. So that's kind of going back to my first tip with this video, is that getting creative with troubleshooting like that. It's not like I walked up and it was just right in front of your face and you just knew what it was right away. You kind of had to dig into it a little bit and get creative and kind of think about what could be happening, what noises could they be hearing, and then just dive into it. So and it worked out well. So, and that's one thing that, like, right now, like, I enjoyed that process, and it makes me feel good that I was able to go in there, find the problem and fix it, and now they're up and running and no problems. So again, it goes back to that fulfillment. Really enjoy being able to repair stuff. So the second reason why I think getting into the HVAC trade as a career is something you should do, because of job security. Now, one thing going through the pandemic over the past couple years has proved is that while tons and tons of people are getting laid off and struggling, the guys in the HVAC field, the guys and the gals in the HVAC field are continuing to work, if not working a lot more than we have in previous years. So, and I heard a lot of companies and a lot of people, like, they worked a whole lot more during the last couple of years than they have in the previous years. So that just goes to show you that the whole coined phrase of essential workers is something to really think about, because when it comes time to where the economy is crashing or whatever the case is, that your job is going to be secure, because we are needed all the time. And this whole pandemic really got me thinking, if we just stopped working, we stopped going and fixing and repairing and installing, literally the economy would just shut down. Hospitals would have to close, schools, people in the residential homes would be suffering. Like, it would be a really bad situation. So that goes to show that no matter what is going down in the economy or around us, there's always going to be jobs. And not just jobs, but opportunities, plenty of opportunities. So depending on whatever it is that you want to do, and what path you want to take within the industry, there are tons and tons of opportunity, and it's plentiful. So that, to me, is a huge reason why investing into a career like the HVAC industry is very fruitful, because again, there's going to be plenty of opportunity, and no matter what someone wants to do, you can go out and find that within the HVAC industry. And I love that. I love the fact that you can go out and make a career and do what you want to do. It's completely up to you. I love that. So that, that goes back to being creative again. You can really figure out and dive into what it is, what path you want to take, and just go out and get it. Like, there's something to be said for that. I know a lot of industries out there, it's like, oh, this is it. This is, you go to school, you get this degree, and this is what you're going to get. If you want something else, then you got to go to school for 6 more years, whatever the case is. And before you know it, you feel very limited. And I guess kind of that's one of the point that I'm getting to is within the HVAC industry, there's no limitations. You don't feel limited. There are so many paths that you can take. So if you find out that install is not what you want to do long term, then you can get into doing service. If service is not something you want to do, you want to get into install. You have the availability there, and you have the job security there, so you know that if you're going to invest your time and your future, you're doing it into something that's not going to go away. It's not going to be just dropped off because the economy is in bad shape. So to wrap that up, job security is a big reason why I think investing into an HVAC career is something you should do. All right, that was a nice, easy, simple service call. For this call, the customer's got a 2-story building here, and they have one system. System is a heat pump. It's up on the 2nd floor, and the thermostat is like midway. So as you're going up the stairs, they try to kind of split the difference there, but there's no zone system. There's one thermostat for both floors. And they were experiencing the 2nd floor to be too cold compared to downstairs. So as I got to looking at the ductwork, I found that the supply damper on the duct going for the upstairs was completely shut. So that was an easy fix. Open that up, tighten that little wing nut to hold it in place, and they're good to go for now. I went ahead and quoted them for a zone system, just because that's going to give them a lot better control and comfort over what they currently have. So, but they're going to test it out for now and let it run. And if it's still too uncomfortable, then we're going to go to installing a zone system. So, but yeah, that was a pretty easy, quick service call there. That install, man, that's a pretty new system, less than a year old. And man, whoever installed that unit did not care about the quality of work, and it shows. But fortunately, that's quite common in the industry. So, but yeah, that finishes up that call, and I'm on to the next one. All right, so that leads us to the third and final reason why I think choosing the HVAC industry as a career is a good way to go. And for me, that's going to be having the opportunity to serve people. So obviously there's a lot of different ways that you can serve people, but when you add it up with the other reasons that we already talked about, it just means that much more. And so what I mean by serving people is we have the opportunity to go into people's homes, place of business, hospital, schools, whatever it is, right? And we get to create a level of comfort and safety for the people. And that in itself is just something to not take lightly, right? I take a lot of pride in And when I'm doing my job, not only am I getting into the nuts and bolts and the technical side of things, but what I'm also doing is completely understanding when I'm there, my job is to serve those people. So I want to make them feel as comfortable as possible, not just with the actual mechanical system itself, but with my presence, me being there, talking to them, whether if it's, you know, it's like out of their budget to replace the equipment and we find ways to really help them, or maybe they're having some issues when it comes to like indoor air quality, and I'm able to help them out in that way as well, like with their allergies or sinuses, whatever the case is. So basically what I'm saying is I love that I can go in and really just serve the people in a way where it makes their life easier, more comfortable, and I just really enjoy that about this industry. So for me, that's really big. You know, being able to go into someone's home and sit down and talk to them about their equipment or about their situation and putting them at ease that I have a solution for them. Like, to me, that's huge. That's huge. And at the end of the day, when I'm finished and I kind of look back and think about how the day went, it just puts a smile on my face knowing that I was able to go into these people's lives. I was able to support them and help them and make their life just that much better, right? And not only that, but to be able to connect with them on a you know, person-to-person level, to where, you know, sometimes, you know, people, we need someone to talk to. We need to be around someone if we're having a bad day, or, you know, things aren't going our way, or whatever the case is. It's just nice to be able to connect with people. So I take that opportunity because we are out and about. We're always seeing different people. We're able to touch lives a whole lot more than if you were like in a warehouse or, you know, or whatever, right? So that's one thing that I really love about being in this industry, is that we're all over the place. We're seeing new people and new places, and we're able to connect and really just get into serving others. Because, man, like, that's going back to the first tip, or the first thing that we talked about was fulfillment. It's also fulfilling to serve people. So anyway, that's something I really get into, and I think it's a super important thing to think about getting into this industry, because we're not only working on the machines or, you know, the equipment, we're also really big with customer service and dealing with people and connecting with people. So that's something to really think about, and I really enjoy that side of it. So, but yeah, that's the three main things that I could think of when it comes to why getting into the HVAC industry is a good thing, and something to be very proud of. So that's going to complete today's video. I hope you guys got something out of it. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Until next time, see you guys later.